had a thought when we were talking about the electric
Yeah.
trucks. I mean, is there even like an electric truck that's like on the market right now? I mean, I know
No.
that like Tesla has one. I
Yeah.
mean, like, is it even a thing yet?
I've seen one Nikola truck. It wasn't hauling anything. It was just the tractor going down the freeway. It must have been like a test run, but it said on the back, no emission and Nikola and like this plaque. I'm like, oh wow, there's one. It exists. But the idea is they're going to electrify all the drayage, like short haul trucking around the port. So everything in the LA basin is going to be moved by electric fleets since they're going to be range bound. But then in
Hmm.
terms of infrastructure, I've just now seen two truck stops in the Central Valley at different places. One on the 65 freeway, which is like barely any truck traffic that's like going long haul. So it's kind of funny why it's there. But two stations. I mean, it's in its infancy, and it's has you read articles. The truckers are not happy about it, so we're trying to get truckers into our organization because think about what that does to an independent contractor that's hauling goods. They own their own fleet. Now they're told, well, now you have to buy a truck that's 3 times more expensive than your diesel tractor, and it's like, well, I just have to go out of business, or I have to go to Nevada, Arizona, whatever, move out of state and do my hauling out of the state. So it's really pushing unionized type control, throughout the trucking fleet in
Mm.
and out of the port. And then only the big companies are going to be able to transition to that type of fleet because it's prohibitively expensive for any independent. So it's green policies that are really detrimental to independent service owners or operators.
You put out an article the other day that was talking about in California who drives EVs
Yeah,
specifically and the
right.
demographics of those people.
Yeah, no, and it's something I've always like tweeted about, but haven't had figures around. Like the only people I see with Teslas are wealthy people going to the biotech job and the golf course, and then they take a sprinter van with their surfboards down to the beach. Like they have 5 vehicles. Okay, they're not transitioning, but then the demographics come out that 75% of EV owners are white, affluent, making over $200,000 a year, a huge segment up in the Bay Area, hardly any Black and Hispanic drivers. It's just like, it's exactly what we all knew and were talking about. And now I think maybe the demographics and the studies are finally being released. Like, hey, yeah, we don't really have an equitable mode of transportation based on the preliminary data. It's really, I chuckle, but it's because it's so funny in the sense of like, how are you telling people that this is equitable? It's a joke. It's not true. And people are now going to get really mad that have bought into that and are not going to be able to afford this mode of transportation for themselves.
Well, we knew that there was maybe some hypocrisy around the environmental benefits of EV. There's been studies you can argue, well, how long does it take to be carbon neutral? Is it 30,000 miles of driving? Is it 70 or 80,000? I've seen, studies that have gone up and said it's 100,000 miles or whatever the number
Mm-hmm.
is. And so there's always been that kind of debate. But now it's like you're even talking about the equity and inclusion and the social. It's like we're even
Yeah,
getting into like it's not even,
it's
not
not
only is the
happening.
environmental part, like, not only is the environmental part questionable, but it's like, it's also just like rich white people and
Right,
driving these things too.
right,
And it's
and
being subsidized by taxpayers.
yeah, the people that are
Am I missing
working and they
something?
they don't have good accountants that are gonna, shelter their income from Walmart or Best Buy or wherever they're working. They're paying their taxes and they're paying into these programs and they're gonna get upset. I think it's hard for people to understand these issues if they're not really paying attention. It's They don't put it all together.